Come, let us prepare. Make some good profits this week. Now, market left us big clues right here. Let's take a look at it in today's video. Especially with every big red day, something always happens. I want to talk to you about that. You see all the big red days coming. I want to show you that in today's video. And it's good to be back. I've been having some problems with YouTube, so that's the reason why you don't see me around here. I apologize for that. I was not able to make any videos or post anything at the meantime, so there was no means for me to get to you. I apologize, but I've been in the Discord server almost every day providing analysis. So Discord members, you would see me every day anyway. So I would also advise you to join the Patreon. You don't have to pay for it. You can join for free. There is a free option. I will have updates there. So just in case you don't see me updating on YouTube, it is beyond my own volition, you can still get updates on Patreon, so you don't miss a thing, especially after the market has sold down this much and I was not able to say anything on YouTube. But it's in the Discord server. I'm there almost every day. So once again, apologize if you're not able to hear from me, but I'm back at the meantime, and I will explain a little more what happened in another video. Let's focus on the charts for now. Now, we went all the way down, isn't it? There were two important points that I talked about in one of the videos in the Discord server, as I was explaining. So I will follow up on that. You have better understanding. Firstly, I talked about the 200-day moving average. I told you it was a eventuality because of how this was not even that low, right? I talked about how the 200-day moving average is someplace where both the bulls and the bears will want to revisit, and how you see the bottom Bollinger started trending down together with the 5-day moving average as well, crossing below the 20 days. So all these are information that you already know if you've been a long time follower. So thank you for watching, and this becomes very, very simple information for you, especially with 5-day continuing to trend down and rejecting every other day on the way down here. So on the macro level, this comes as no surprise for you. But I want you to pay close attention, because after every big red days, I will talk a little bit about that. And on the way down, I also mentioned how you have to pay close attention to the blue algorithm, because you see how the blue algorithm has been rejecting the range right here. See, at this point here, once we started pushing down, you see the blue just building extremely beautiful liquidity right here. And not forgetting this particular blue as well once we started rejecting the range. So you see the blue has been consistently building liquidity on the way down together with this orange. These are all very important algorithms. I will want to talk about that a little later. So let's take a look first at Friday. This was a very beautiful day indeed. Firstly is identifying the magenta at the start of day. We already identified the magenta quite early at 9:46 right here. Now, this is all time stamped before the trade happens, as you can see right there. Once we identify the orange and the magenta at 9:46, which was here, this was 9:46 a.m. You already see the liquidity at the magenta. It was clear cut. You see magenta already building liquidity and giving us that way down here. So this was absolutely beautiful right at the start of the day once you see the rejection. And this was quite important because in the 30-minute chart, I talked about this as well. Remember the blue algorithm that I talked about? Exactly here. Do you see that? The blue, this was right at the start. 9:46 was here, 9:46 a.m. And you see the rejection right from the blue. I talked about this as well right at the start of the day, right here at 8 a.m. This was as early as 8 a.m. on the 30-minute chart, right? This was clear as day once you were able to identify the blue algorithm that was rejecting the range together with the green selling. Very straightforward, isn't it? Once you're able to identify the algorithms, this becomes quite easy to translate in the 1-minute chart as well. So this was quite a simple trade here. Once you're able to understand and identify, most importantly, the magenta, clear as day, this liquidity. This was clear as day, right? So this was quite easy to manage a trade there. Now, thereafter, there was a larger trade here, and there were two trades I want to talk about here. The first one will be this yellow algorithm that we identified here. Now, I wanted you to see this yellow algorithm, because once we broke out of that yellow algorithm here, this becomes quite straightforward. I want you to see penny perfect rejection of that yellow algorithm. And once we broke down penny perfect, it broke down in that blue algorithm there, penny perfect, identifying the yellow right there. Now it's important you see that because you notice I took trades from 2 p.m. This was at 2 p.m. on the break here, and was able to nurture all my trades, profit after profit after profit, from 2 p.m. all the way down to 2:30. And thereafter, take a look, it's penny perfect, as I mentioned. And once more from 3 p.m. all the way to almost close. So once we broke down of that, this became absolutely beautiful for you to catch trades after trades after trades because of how precise the algorithms are. Penny perfect, giving you that precision to catch your trades on the way down. You can maximize your trades in that way once you're able to have such penny perfect algorithms right there. Now, there was another more beautiful trade here, and I talked about this, and this was already prepared at 11 a.m. hours ago. And you understand, once the teal starts to break, you see the teal was actually quite dominant here, isn't it? And once the teal starts to break, that's where you have your stronger algorithm all the way down here as well, right? So you see the teal building liquidity. Now the market was kind, right? Because we had that to start with. And thereafter, you see how once we built enough liquidity in the teal, we broke it down right here. So I told you to wait for more liquidity to start building before we break out of the teal. So you were also prepared for this trade here. So from 2 to 4 p.m., right here, absolutely beautiful, because you had two confirmation, one from the break of that yellow and one from the break of the teal right there. Now, if you want more information on the algorithms, do join the Patreon page. You don't have to pay. There's a free option there. There's some videos that you can watch as well. And there are resources, free resources here, even on YouTube. There are literally hundreds of videos that you can watch and learn. Only in your comfort level. If it makes sense to you, you join as a member so you can be in the Discord server. But otherwise, plenty of free resources. So take a time and take a time to learn this. Now, most importantly, at near to end of day, right, I took a call here. I missed the fill at 55 here. Why? Because you see, firstly, the break of that precision, as I was talking about here, right? So we had a break of the precision algorithm as well as this beautiful teal. And you see after hours as well that the teal algorithm that was building liquidity was grabbed as well. Just take a look, penny perfect right there, right? You see how the teal was just building liquidity and grabbing the liquidity on the way up. Now, these are very important clues, right? So if you managed to get a call, which I missed, and that's absolutely fine, right? This was a call at about 3:55, and that's absolutely fine, even if you missed it, because this is a skill that you can learn and stack every single day. You get better every day, and you can find profits in the charts every day for the rest of your life. Now, I want to talk about this. This is very important. At this point here, whenever we had large red days and the market is devoid of some liquidity on the way down, you notice we always have some sort of bounce up. So you just have to be a little bit more cautious if we do bounce up here. But you notice that it has been consistently selling in, firstly, the magenta here. Right, it has been consistently selling in the magenta. So I want you to pay close attention to that. We only recently broke out of the magenta because we were selling in the green prior to that. And within this green, do you see the selling in that orange, right? So there is also orange selling right here. And more importantly, within the orange selling, there is a stronger green within the orange as well. So I want you to pay close attention to see the selling pattern at this point, and at what point does the selling pattern start to taper and we start to have some reversal. You have to pay close attention to that. Pay close attention to the moving averages, because this has been moving down the trend of the moving averages, and you see how we are potentially now crossing below the 200-day moving average at this point here. So this is a very important point here. Pay close attention to this particular level, right? So pay close attention to this level where the 200-day moving average is at about 660. So this is a very important level you need to pay close attention to, because there is tremendous liquidity right here. All right, so just pay close attention to this. I want to talk a little bit about the liquidity zones here. But if we take a look at the daily chart, if you want to call for the reversal, Firstly, 5-day must be reclaimed. That's the most important part. You will see bottom Bollinger starting to taper and plateau. 5-day will start trending up as well, right? And the market will grab 5-day as some sort of support. 20-day will start plateauing. 5-day will cross above 20-day before we start retesting the upper Bollinger again, with the bottom Bollinger as well plateauing here. So there are plenty of confirmation you can wait for. It may take days, it may take weeks. So just be more mindful taking a look at all the very important macro indicators right here. Now take a look at the 30-minute chart. Now remember, you have to see the varying degree of selling here until the selling has been more or less broken and starting to taper. Then you can be more sure of how to be taking the reversal trades from here. At this point here, there is very key liquidity here. So you have to pay close attention to this key liquidity here, and that will require you to pay close attention to this magenta. Magenta has to grab the liquidity here if this wants to head up. And so more importantly, you pay close attention to the 200-day moving average and your 5-day, which will be trending to this point. So there are 2 points here. The first will be to grab the liquidity from this magenta level. That's the first. And secondly, you wait for cups to close with the 200-day and your 5-day moving average before you see whether the market grabs more structure to grab support of the 200-day and 5-day moving average if this wants to head up, because it lacks that bearish liquidity. As I've shown you, every time we have big red days, it lacks liquidity. Market has to rebuild liquidity before it wants to start heading down. You notice that, right? And this is through a pattern of this green selling here. So if this wants to continue heading down, you will notice that the market may have a tendency to start building liquidity within that blue and that green liquidity here. Right, so if this wants to continue heading down, no surprise, you have plenty of selling algorithms here that's trying to force this way down. So pay close attention to that. It can go down in that orange, it can go down in that magenta, but most importantly, you pay close attention to whether the blue continues to build liquidity. So pay close attention to that. At the meantime, this is quite important, especially if we do reject the 5-day and the 200-day moving average there. So if it continues trending down, it becomes quite easy. What I'm interested in is obviously the reversal. If this has the opportunity to reverse, because it has shown the market needs to grab liquidity, there will be a bounce. You have to catch the bounce and have an understanding of whether that is truly a reversal. And I talked about that in the daily chart on how to be looking out for all the trend indicators again. So pay close attention to that. Now, otherwise, every single day, find profits in the charts right here in using the intraday algorithms here, as I have shown you in the Discord server day after day. Stay subscribed. I will be having a video to explain about the algorithms a little bit, so you don't miss out on that. But more importantly, pay close attention to this liquidity level here. If the market wants to grab this, it's quite straightforward here, right? Because of the liquidity. You see already after hours, the market attempting to grab that teal, but the larger one is obviously off that magenta. I will just do a quick one, right? So the magenta is right here, right? So the market wants to grab the magenta. Otherwise, 200-day and 5-day, you want to see the market close the cup before it starts heading up, right? So translate that into the 30-minute, becomes a little bit easier to see this. Now, we have been selling quite consistently in the magenta. So you do want to see some structure here, grabbing the moving averages as a sort of support before it starts pushing out of this range here, right, and grabbing all the liquidity on the way up. Otherwise, the green here, if the market wants to take a longer time, it absolutely can, while building liquidity as well. So you pay close attention to the green algorithm here, right? If the market wants to take a longer time, as I mentioned, it absolutely can. By then, your 5-day will start to plateau together with your 20-day. So there is a very important liquidity level here as well. So quite a few important levels, that 670 to 673 level here together with the green algorithm. Yeah, and the 660 level where the 5-day and the 200-day will be for that cup if it wants to close. Before that, I always remind you, it's still in the selling continuation. So you have to learn to respect the algorithms here, especially the green the magenta, the stronger orange that has been selling quite consistently here, isn't it? And within the orange, you see the green. That is your money maker right here. All right, so I will guide you along every single day, Discord server, so don't worry about that, right? Take your time, learn the skill. It's more important than trying to make money every single day, right? If you have some sort of already some sort of training and been watching my videos, or you already have understanding of how to approach this, but you just have to be more careful and focus on understanding your trading styles and obviously your risk management, and most importantly, most importantly, focus on building the skill, because the market's not going anywhere for the rest of your life. So focus on the skills first. Yes, thank you very much for watching. See you closer to opening bell.